And he said, oh, you look like you had fun. Your leg wouldn't stop rocking. And I was like, oh, really? That's interesting. All right, so if you're watching this, you most likely know what DMT is, so it needs no introduction or explanation. We're talking about getting banned from hyperspace, yeah? Thousands of people worldwide told to fuck off. There's one video in particular, and this guy has taken it really personal. He's really hurt, and he seems to, as far as I'm concerned, completely missed the point of why he was shown what he was shown in the first place, you know? He says, if anybody, please pass the message on to the elves and let them know that I didn't mean anything. Which proves he missed the point, because they know that what he's saying. He even said he sat with the all-knowing intelligence for hundreds of years. Do you think the all-knowing intelligence needs a couple humans to do some drugs and pass the message on? Anyway, I'm not ripping into this guy. This one is about me. When I got banned from hyperspace, this is my story. I'd already been given the no entry signs. You know, I'll show you a drawing I did based on this. Unfinished. But yeah, that was the drawing. Access denied. Anyway, I decide to take another rip of DMT. And as I do, the same usual, the carrier call. I'm in this spacecraft with this big clock counting down. There's cybernetic Sanskrit. It's the only way I know how to describe this language that we all who've done this, we all have seen the language, yeah? If you're watching this and you know DMT, you know the scribbles that I'm on about, yeah? That Sanskrit Cybertron graffiti shit. Yeah. And it counts down, blast off. We blast off and I'm with all these machine elves and we get taken to this other planet. We land on this planet and the craft opens like that drawbridge, kind of like a Halo spacecraft. And it opens and I'm seeing this long green grass. And the elves run out and they say to me, come on, follow us. And they're running down this hill and I'm running with them and we're laughing and we're running through all this long HD grass and we're running. And right at the bottom of the hill, there's like a big cylinder shaped kind of vault with like a Scrooge McDuck kind of safe, like a wheel to open. And one of these elves, he opens this big flipping vault. Inside this vault, it's like name brands that I've never seen before. You know how name brands jump out at your senses, but no name brands I've ever seen before, but every name brand I could think of, filling up this whole tube, and it was all lighting up like, come in, like really. And I was like, nah, I'm all right. And it was like, no, come on, like come in, it will be fun. And I was like, okay, all right then. So I stepped into this vault and they shut it behind me. They shut the door behind me, closed it off. It was like being in a fucking washing machine. And it obliterated me. It split me into 2, then 4, then 8, then 16, then to fucking a billion. A billion flipping me is getting rattled around in this hyperbolic fucking washing machine. They obliterated me into flipping trillions of particles. Stop the ride, like please stop. I was begging them to stop it. And it was like, you know that bonus level on Sonic the Hedgehog 1 on the Mega Drive, yeah? On this flipping maze that won't stop moving. They were fucking kicking, sorry for my language, kicking this vault around like it was a football, like it was Sonic the Hedgehog in that bonus stage. They were kicking it around, bouncing it around. The machine was bouncing around everywhere while I was getting washed up inside of it until I was just fragments of fucking nothing. I was like, please stop the ride. This continued for fucking years. They kicked me around for years. I don't know how long I was there. That was not 10 minutes, man. Then they opened this vault up and they poured me out. And I was like, the only way I can describe it is, you know, Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four. Imagine he was having a really not fantastic day and he had no bones. Yeah, they emptied me like ooze out on this putrid beach. And that's the only way I can explain it. It looked like a toxic wasteland struck by a nuclear disaster. Giant anglerfish carcass rotting on this beach, and the sea was black and murky. And they tipped me out next to this corpse. And I was trying to stand up and I was turning into liquid. And I was like, oh my God. And then I just heard from the sky, fuck off, fuck off. I was like, oh my God. And I came to, and my mate was there with me and he was like, oh, like, you know, watching. We don't say anything to each other after. He waited for a moment and my leg was still rocking. And he said, oh, you look like you had fun. Your leg wouldn't stop rocking. And I was like, oh, really? That's interesting. I said nothing to him. I just asked him for a cigarette. I smoked it to the nub and asked him for another one. And so I think I chain smoked 3 or 4 cigarettes in a row before I said anything. All I could hear from the sky was, fuck off, fuck off. Literally, like, and I say literally, that's all I could hear, even though the drug had worn off, even though the DMT experience had ended, I could still hear them clear as day yelling, fuck off, from the stars, a certain star system. I'm not going to mention the star system, but they were yelling from there, fuck off. I didn't talk. I think I stayed silent for the at least half an hour. I said nothing. My friend Luke asked me more questions. I don't even think I asked him for a cigarette. I just nodded at his cigarette packet. Now, this happened because I think I got too big for my boots. I thought I was somebody I weren't. Yeah. Yeah, I was an arrogant prick. I was quite about me. I wouldn't say I was a full-blown narcissist, but I was definitely kind of narcissistic, you know? I needed checking, I needed putting back in my place. And I'm glad they did. I'm glad they did. I can look back here and laugh. And you know, by the next day I was laughing about it, but ever since then, I've never been let back into that realm. I've done DMT a small handful of times since, not much. And I've had crazy experiences, but never allowed beyond the glass, beyond the glass doors. Don't know how to explain it, but all of you who know DMT, you know what I'm on about. So that guy out there who's so upset that he's not allowed back into the DMT realm. Diddums. I think they went easy on you, bro. I think they went easy on you. You know, and you're gonna be fine.